Hi there everybody and welcome along to the big quiz night in. It is another quiz night here on Facebook Live. Hope you're all doing well. This is episode 122, I believe. It's been a bit of a mad rush getting ready this evening. Lovely comments coming in already, which is really great to see. Hope you're all doing well, and it is, as I mentioned in the chat already, a hot one. I know I'm not the only one that's suffering in the heat right now. It's going to be like 30, 31 degrees all week, I think, and we haven't really had much of a summer, and I wasn't really expecting it, and yes, now I have to put up with it. So tonight's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a slightly shorter show in theory because of the heat. Firstly, I've sacrificed the kids question. We're not doing that tonight because they're both far too hot and bothered. Had a busy day. Thursday back at school for both of them as well. So yeah, they're having a break this evening, and we are going to do something slightly different at the end, which I'll explain in just a moment. But first, let's get to the comments and see who is joining us tonight. So I'll just go back up to the top. We have got Michelle dropped in to say hi. She wishes she could join us, but wanted to say hi anyway. She's going to watch her show tonight. That's fine. I appreciate the interactions as always. But Sue and the Donuts are here. Mark's here as well. Saying bonjour in the chat, welcome along. Gabby says hi everybody, Pinky and the Brain are here. Andy's here as well, saying good evening. And Catherine and Tony as well. It certainly is warm tonight, you're right. Maddie's probably going to drop in and out, massively behind with stuff and haven't eaten yet. Well, that's very important. Make sure you do get yourself some dinner. And Millie's here as well, saying hello all. Really pleased you could all join me here this evening. So, Ant and Jew are here as well. Hello to half the Brazilian team. We've got a lovely turnout this evening. So, yeah, we've got 3 quiz rounds as usual this evening. We'll go through those in just a moment, as we normally do, skipping the kids' question. There will be countdown conundrums for each round as well. Oh, the rest of the Brazilians are on holidays. Oh, well, I wish I could be on holiday right now and just jump in the pool because, man, it's so warm. Now, the difference tonight, though, other than the kids' question being dropped, you might remember our regulars amongst you, which most of you watching live now are, that we've been doing the cryptic music round every week, and we've now gone through the list of all the cryptic bands that I've managed to answer myself in this quiz I got years ago, and I've been running them through with you. We've gone through all the ones that I've worked out. So this evening is the first evening where we're going to start going through the ones that even I haven't worked out the answer to. And the way that's going to work is I'm going to put the quiz itself that I've used to refer to, I'm going to share my screen and put that up on display. And as I go through them, you can shout out and we can fill it in as we go, and you'll see in real time with me if your guess is correct or not. So yeah, and we'll just do that for as long as I can bear before it gets too hot and I have to just say goodnight. But that'll probably bring us to just over the hour mark, I think, maybe an hour and 15. We'll try and do maybe 10 of those, but there's quite a few of them left. But you'll see what I mean when we get to it. Anyway, let's move on to the first round, shall we? Like I said, a bit different. We're skipping the kids' question. Let's go straight over to round 1, and I'll talk you through what rounds you've got tonight. So, I hope that's all okay, first of all. Thank you for being understanding, because that is just how it is tonight. I can't really give you a choice, because that's just a quiz. But the 3 rounds we've got, we're going to kick off with potluck, then we've got TV and film, and then we've got blue as a themed round. More on that when we get to it. But still 15 questions per quiz round, everything's the same. You have got your first countdown conundrum on screen now as well. So please do feel free to work that out for 2 bonus points tonight if you get that correct. But we are going to go through those 3 quiz rounds. Starting off with the potluck round. As I call them out, please don't put the answers in the chat for those of you who are new watching along, especially if you're watching live, because I will go through the answers at the end of the quiz round. You can mark your own and let me know in the comments with your team name how many points you got. And we'll celebrate with everyone who did well and commiserate with those who didn't, but remember, it is just for fun. Good. Maddie says also, I'm also a year older, hit the big 6-0 yesterday and coming to terms with it. Oh my goodness. Well, a big happy birthday for you. That's amazing. I hope you have a great time this evening. Hope you had a great birthday. So yeah, and thank you for choosing to join in, even if you are just dipping in and out tonight. Really appreciate your company as always. Okay, so potluck is general knowledge, 15 questions, any subject goes. Some of them very straightforward, I'm sure. Some of them a little bit trickier. Usual mix of stuff. Let's see how you get on. Question number 1. What is a pipistrelle? What is a pipistrelle? That is question number 1. Millie's managed to send a message even though she's just lost the internet. I hope whatever the problem is, it resolves itself. But I did see that comment, so you must have some signal. Question 2. Who was the king of the Greek gods? Who was the king of the Greek gods? Question number 3. Who was the king of the Roman gods? Who was the king of the Roman gods? Okay, question number 4 now. What is the opposite of concave? What is the opposite of concave? Yes, I certainly hope you do manage to sort your network signal out. That will be a bit rubbish to lose it the moment the quiz starts. But anyway, let's go to the next question now. Question number 5. Which famous building stands at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? Question 5. Which famous building stands at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? Oh, it said my live had ended. Dodgy Wi-Fi, I think. Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah. I'm glad you're back now, though. As you know, I can repeat questions at the end, so if you missed the first few, just let me know the numbers when we get to the end of the round, and I'll repeat them for you, and anybody else, indeed, who wants repeats. That's no problem at all. All right, your next question is question number 6. Which author wrote about Flopsy, Mopsy, and Peter? Which author wrote about Flopsy, Mopsy, and Peter? Question number 7. Which author wrote the bestseller called The Summons? Which author wrote the bestseller called The Summons? Question number 8 now. Question 8. Who was the only prisoner of Spandau Prison until 1987? Who was the only prisoner of Spandau Prison until 1987? Question number 9 now. Question 9. Alphabetically, which is the last element? Alphabetically, which is the last element? Question number 10 now. Question number 10. What is the name of George W. Bush's mother? What is the name of George W. Bush's mother? Question 11 now in our potluck round. Question 11. Whose ship was famously called the Calypso? Whose ship was famously called the Calypso? Not that many multiple point questions in this round. We've got one coming, two multiple point questions coming up in a bit. So I'm not expecting massive scores for this round because you're only going to get a couple of extra bonus points here and there for extra questions, not the usual 3 or 4 or 5 pointers you sometimes get. Question 12. What was so unusual about the pop star Nunori getting a record deal with Warner Music this year? Very recently, in fact. What was so unusual about the pop star Nunori? I'll put this in the chat because the spelling's a bit weird. So I might not be pronouncing it correct. I believe it's something along those lines. But what was so unusual about this pop star Nunori getting a record deal with Warner Music in 2023? Why was that unusual? Okay, question 13. Which peak was the final resting place of Noah's Ark? Which peak was the final resting place of Noah's Ark? Okay, so question 14 is for 2 points. Question 14. What does a lepidopterist collect? 1 point for each. What does a lepidopterist collect? If you can work out one, you could probably quite easily make the connection and work out the other, if that helps in the slightest. What does a lepidopterist collect? 1 point for each. Okay, question 15 and the final question in the potluck round. Name the 3 red properties in the game of Monopoly. 1 point for each. Name the 3 red properties in the game of Monopoly. 1 point for each. That is the end already of the potluck round. Those are your 15 questions. Let me know if you need any questions repeated. Obviously have a guess at that and then let me know if you need any questions repeated. Millie, I know you might have missed a couple, so if you want me to repeat some of the early questions again, just let me know in the comments. We'll go through those. Then we'll go through the answers. Give you a little bit more thinking time as well. That means with the countdown conundrum, 2 bonus points if you can get that correct. We'll see how well you all did, and we can move on to the next round. But that is the end of the potluck round. Questions 1 to 3 then. Here's a reminder of those. That gives everybody a bit more thinking time as well, of course, when I do this. Question 1. What is a pipistrelle? What is a pipistrelle? Question 2. Who was the king of the Greek gods? And question 3, similarly to that, who was the king of the Roman gods? So those were those first 3 questions that you missed there. Any more repeats, do let me know. If not, we shall go through the answers. Remember that in the description of this video there is a link to all the places you can support me, just filling a bit of time now for you, giving you a bit more thinking time, just reminding you of that. Number 7 has been requested for Gabby, Pinky in the Brain. Which author wrote the bestseller called The Summons? Which author wrote the bestseller called The Summons? Okay, I'm going to start going through the answers then. We're not getting any more requests for repeats in. So we'll go through the answers then. As I've said, 1 point for each correct answer, with the exception of 14 and 15, which is 2 and 3 points respectively. So here we go. Question 1. What is a pipistrelle? It's a bat. Question 2. Who was the king of the Greek gods? It's Zeus. And the king of the Roman gods, for question 3, Jupiter. Question 4. What is the opposite of concave? It is convex. Question 5. Which famous building stands at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? It is the White House in Washington, D.C. Question 6. Which author wrote about Flopsy, Mopsy and Peter? They are Beatrix Potter characters. Question 7. The author who wrote the bestseller called The Summons is John Grisham. Question 8. Who was the only prisoner of Spandau Prison in 1987, or until 1987? Rudolf Hess. Question number 9, alphabetically, which is the last element? That is zirconium. Question 10, what is the name of George W. Bush's mother? She was Barbara Bush. Question 11, whose ship was famously called the Calypso? It was Jacques Cousteau. Question 12, what is so unusual about the pop star Nunori getting a record deal with Warner Music in 2023? Nunori is a completely fictitious AI character. She's not real at all. They sampled somebody's voice and then changed it up enough so that it would be unique, and AI sang the songs they told it to sing along with the melodies they give it. It released its first song not so long ago and has like 400,000 followers on Instagram, and lots of other social media things which warranted it becoming an artist in its own right. So yeah, an AI character or not real, anything along those lines, you can give yourself the point. Question 13, which peak was the final resting place of Noah's Ark? That is Mount Ararat. Question 14, what does a lepidopterist collect for 2 points? It is butterflies and moths. Question 15, the red properties in a standard UK version of Monopoly for 1 point each: the Strand, Fleet Street and Trafalgar Square. Okay, so start tallying up those scores. I can reveal to you now that the answer for tonight's countdown conundrum is warningly. Warningly is the answer. 2 bonus points if you manage to work that one out. Quite a tricky one, I think, tonight. I think the next one I think is a bit easier. I think the next one, either the next one or the third one. I know one of them looks to me that it's a little bit easier. But tally up your scores then. We'll see how well you all did, and we'll move on to our next round of the evening. So let's see how well you did. Whilst I continue melting. But yes, as I mentioned earlier on, you have got the link in the description. I will let you know at the end of the show when the next deals are coming up in my merch store. For those of you interested in supporting me that way and getting some Big Quiz Night In branded stuff with other silly random quiz related quotes on it and whatnot. Because there are 2 different deals coming up throughout September. So if you're interested in getting something different that's branded, then that would be very cool and I would appreciate it greatly. And I'll let you know about that at the end of the show, what those time periods are and what the deals are. Okay, Mark says, bad round for them, 8 plus 2. Okay, all right. But you got the bonus points there. 15 plus 2 bonus points for Catherine and Tony. Excellent score there. Well done, the not-so-golden oldies. Sue says the donuts got 14. They got the conundrum as well there. Very good. Pinky and the Brain have got 12 plus 2. Millie says we got 10. Excellent. Okay. Ju says let's see how bad some did. 5. I should have said let's see how badly you did with my difficult quiz rounds. Maddie's gone and got 16 points. Excellent score. Andy says 14 plus 2, 16 in total for me. Probably peaked early tonight. TV next. Yeah, I know. TV and film is only good if you actually watch and are aware of a lot of TV and films. I am acutely aware of this, but in fairness, every subject, it's only easy if you know the answer. But hey, you know what you can do as a Patreon supporter of mine? You could request and suggest some quiz subjects for future quizzes, which you might be more familiar with, even ones we don't normally do. You can give me ideas and I can create those for you. It is something Patreons are fully welcome to request at any time. But nobody ever does, or hasn't done for years. Well, I say years, hasn't done for a very long time. But you are welcome to do that if you're a Patreon supporter, most definitely. I would love to hear from you. Okay, good scores, everybody. Let's move on then to round number 2. Yes, okay, this is the one this is the countdown conundrum I said I thought was a bit easier. And yes, Andy, I'm glad you think it's a good idea. Anybody who supports me that way is welcome to do that. Okay, so your next round then is TV and films, and you have another conundrum on screen for 2 bonus points. Same thing as before, we'll go through the 15 questions. This time there are several questions with multiple points in them, and then we will see how well you did at the end once more. So, here we go with question number 1 on my favourite subject, within the TV and film genre at least. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, was first seen on screen in which movie? I had to look down and check, but yes, I am wearing a relevant t-shirt, as I normally am, to be fair. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, was first seen on screen in which movie? Question number 2. What was the name of Derek Trotter's son in Only Fools and Horses? What was the name of Derek Trotter's son in Only Fools and Horses? Question number 3. Put these TV shows into the correct order with the earliest shown on TV first. Holby Blue, Casualty, and Holby City. Put these TV shows into the correct order with the earliest shown first. Holby Blue, Casualty, and Holby City. Question number 4, this is for 3 points as well. On TV, what were the names of the dogs who belonged to Sharon Watts, Ethel Skinner, and Robbie Jackson in EastEnders? On TV, what were the names of the dogs who belonged to Sharon Watts, Ethel Skinner, and Robbie Jackson in EastEnders? Question number 5. Who piloted Thunderbird 1? Just the first name. Which of the Tracy family piloted Thunderbird 1? Question number 6 now. Question 6. Which brand of cars went zoom, zoom, zoom according to their TV ad? Which brand of cars went zoom, zoom, zoom according to their TV ad? Okay, question number 7. Here's another 3-pointer for you. Question 7. Walk the Line, Behind the Candelabra, and Get On Up are biopic films about which pop stars? Ooh, that was clever. My light's gone off. There we go. Okay, so your next, the question again, I'll say that number 7 for you. Walk the Line, Behind the Candelabra, and Get On Up are biopic films about which pop stars? Question number 8. This one is for 2 points. Sylvester Stallone and Mel and Sue have advertised 2 brands of bread on UK TV. Name them for 1 point each. Sylvester Stallone and Mel and Sue have advertised 2 brands of bread on UK TV. Name them for 1 point each. Question number 9 now. Question number 9. What were the first 2 movies to feature characters named Will S. Preston and Theodore Logan? What were the first 2 movies to feature characters named Will S. Preston and Theodore Logan? 1 point for each again. The first 2 movies. Question number 10 now. Question 10. 90210 is a TV postcode of which American city? 90210 is a TV postcode of which American city? Question 11 now. This one is for 3 more points. Who plays the roles of Neil, Stacy, and Bryn in Gavin and Stacey? Who plays the roles of Neil, Stacy, and Bryn in Gavin and Stacey? 1 point for each. Question 12 now. Question 12. 10 Things I Hate About You is a film that was inspired by which Shakespearean play? 10 Things I Hate About You is a film that was inspired by which Shakespearean play? All your remaining questions are multiple pointers. All are worth 3 points. Question number 13. Which flowers are the first names of the 3 sisters in Keeping Up Appearances? Which flowers are the first names of the 3 sisters in Keeping Up Appearances? If you've never watched that show, if you've got no idea, just guess 3 flowers. You're highly likely to get at least 1 point. Surely, he says, hoping that you do. Which flowers are the first names of the 3 sisters in Keeping Up Appearances? Question number 14 for another 3 points. Which TV comedians had a comedy roadshow, a commercial breakdown, and which one told us his good news? Which TV comedians had a comedy roadshow, a commercial breakdown, and which one told us his good news? 1 point for each correct comedian. Okay, your final question now, question number 15, for a final 3 points. Colin Firth, Timothy Spall, and Kirk Douglas first played a real-life artist on film in which 3 movies? Colin Firth, Timothy Spall, and Kirk Douglas first played a real-life artist on film in which movies? 1 point for each. 3 obviously completely different movies. That's a tough question. I like a TV and film round, but that is a tough question. So good luck with that one. You've got a little bit of thinking time now. If you have any repeats that you would like me to do, again, as always, let me know in the comments now. and I will do that for you. And of course, make sure you have a guess at the conundrum. If you can work that one out, it's worth an extra 2 bonus points for you again, as always. Let's see how well you've done with this one then. So yes, let me know what repeats you would like. Nothing's coming just yet, but that's fine. I'll give you just a little bit more thinking time, and then I'll just start going through the answers. If it transpires that there's no repeats to be requested, that's fine. And then we're going to move on to the blue round. I may as well, while we wait, I'll explain that for you now. The blue round we're about to go into will be similar to a general knowledge or potluck round, but all the questions have a connection to the word blue somewhere in the question or perhaps in the answer. Okay? Might explain a little bit more as we get into it, but that's what that's all around. Okay, no more comments about repeats. We'll go through the answers now. Question number 1. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, was first seen on screen in which movie? It was, of course, Star Wars. Specifically, it's Episode 4, A New Hope. So, the way I would mark this, if you put Star Wars, just Star Wars, you can have a point for that, because the movie was called just Star Wars when it was released. He didn't know, George Lucas didn't know he was going to make any more, so the first one was just called Star Wars, even though he later renamed it to Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. So you get a point for either of those. If you put anything else, called it a different episode, I would not have given you the point. So just keep that in mind. Question 2. What was the name of Derek Trotter's son in Only Fools and Horses? It was Damien. Question 3. Put these TV shows into the correct order, with the earliest shown on TV first. They are all related, these shows. The original and first was Casualty. Then you had the spin-off Holby City. And then the other spin-off Holby Blue. And that's 3 points if you got them all correct. You get 1 point if one's in the correct place. Then you get 3 points if they're all in the correct order. The only other alternative with this kind of question is they're not in the right order at all, in which case I'm afraid you miss out. Question 4. On TV, what were the names of the dogs who belonged to Sharon Watts, Ethel Skinner and Robbie Jackson? In EastEnders, they are Rolly, Willie and Wellard. Rolly, Willie and Wellard. 1 point for each again. Question 5. Who piloted Thunderbird 1? It was Scott Tracy. Question 6. Which brand of car went zoom, zoom, zoom? According to the TV ads, it was a Mazda. Question 7. Walk the Line, Behind the Candelabra and Get On Up are biopic films based on which pop stars? So Walk the Line is about Johnny Cash. Behind the Candelabra is about Liberace. And Get On Up is about James Brown. Question 8. Sylvester Stallone and Mel and Sue advertised 2 brands of bread on UK TV. 1 point for each. It's Warburton's and Kingsmill. Question 9. Which 2 movies feature the characters named William S. Preston and Ted Theodore Logan? It is Bill and Ted. Their Excellent Adventure and Their Bogus Journey were the first 2 films. They have since done a third one. I'm rubbish. I haven't seen it yet. I really enjoyed the first 2. I haven't got around to watching the third. I think I need to do a rewatch of all 3 of them, to be honest. All the first 2 before the third. But yeah, you get 1 point for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and 1 point for Bogus Journey. Question 10. The TV postcode 90210 is from Beverly Hills. The first series they did was called Beverly Hills 90210. Question 11. Who play the roles of Stacey Shipman, Neil Smith and Bryn West in Gavin and Stacey? I deliberately didn't give you the surnames the first time round that I read that, because not a lot of people realise that Neil is Smithy's first name in the show. So yeah, that's why that happened. Sorry, bit cheeky there. But the correct answers are Joanna Page plays Stacey, James Corden is Smithy or Neil Smith, and Rob Brydon plays Bryn. Question 12. 10 Things I Hate About You is a film inspired by which Shakespearean play? It is The Taming of the Shrew. Question 13. The three flowers that are the names of the three sisters in Keeping Up Appearances. We have Hyacinth, who's the main character, her and her husband, Rose, and Violet. Question 14. Which TV comedians had a comedy roadshow, a commercial breakdown, and which one told us his good news for 3 points? It's Michael McIntyre's comedy roadshow, Jasper Carrott had a commercial breakdown, and it's Russell Howard's good news. And finally, question 15. Colin Firth, Timothy Spall, and Kirk Douglas first played a real-life artist on film in which movies? It is Girl with the Pearl Earring, Mr. Turner, and Lust for Life for 3 points. The answer then for the conundrum for round 2 is exquisite. So tally up your scores then, 2 bonus points if you got the conundrum. And let's see how well you did before we move on to our third and final quiz round, or question round I should say, which is blue. Let's see how well you've done. Yeah, essentially with the next round, if blue isn't mentioned in the question, it will be in the answer somewhere. That's a good rule to go by for that round. 6 points for Millie and Mike, well done. 21 points there for the donuts. Daisy was more famous than Violet in Keeping Up Appearances. Was Daisy another sister? Was she another sister? Did she have 3 sisters? You can have a point for Daisy instead, but I need to keep it a 3-pointer to be fair to everybody. So if you put Daisy instead of Rose or instead of Violet, let me just have a quick look and double check. Hyacinth. Oh, there is 4. All the sisters' names are flowers. Why is that not here? How strange. Yeah, okay, alright. Well, I'll stand by that 3-point rule in there. If you named all 4, I'm afraid, just, if you don't mind, keep it to 3 points, because that's what I said it was for everybody. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fair, even though this is just for fun. But Hyacinth, Daisy, Violet, and Rose. Yes, I'm going to update this. How strange. Okay. Violet was hardly... Yeah, I knew Violet was hardly ever seen, Maddie says. But, yes, those were the names of the 3, and Daisy was, yeah, a 4th. Okay, yeah, I'm going to update this now. How strange it's not here. Let me just change up. We keep those scores coming in. Daisy, Rose and Violet. There we go. Hyacinth, Daisy, Rose and Violet for 4 points. Excellent. Right, let's go back to the scores then. Right, so 14 points for us, says Jew. Well done, Ant and Jew. Britzillions, half of 14 points. Oh, plus 2 points if you've got the conundrum, Millie. It's 2 points for the countdown conundrum tonight. I know sometimes I might say 1, but tonight it's 2. So well done. Mark says funky chickens, isn't it? I keep forgetting. I'm sure it's funky chickens. 19 plus 2 points, good score. 20 plus 2 points for Pinky in the Brain. 16 plus 2 for the not so golden oldies. Right, 20 plus 2 with Daisy. Yeah, you definitely get the point for Daisy then if you got 3 points for that question, as I've said. So 20 plus 2, says Mark. Well, I surprised myself, says Andy. 13 plus 2, that's 15. Respectable. It is respectable indeed. Well done. Oh, we might have another point for Daisy, but they were guesses. That's fine. Doesn't matter how you get them, as long as you're not cheating. 19 plus 2, says Maddie. Daisy and Onslow. It's Daisy, that's it. Yeah, she was in it loads. Rose, manager, lived with them. Violet had the hubby called Brute. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Daisy's definitely the more famous one. I don't know how that was omitted from this answer sheet. That's very odd. It's not going to be omitted anymore, because I've now added it on myself. So, yes, won't be making that one mistake again. Rose the Man-Eater, yes. Brilliant. Okay, well, You did really well with that round, guys. Lots of great scores there. That's good. We are going to shift over now to round number 3 and see how well you do with this blue round. And there is another countdown conundrum there. A little bit trickier, I think, this one. But we'll see how well you do. See if you can get yourself some nice high scores here. This round, again, has some multiple point questions. Kicking off with this first one. Obviously, same rules apply. We'll go through the answers at the end again. And any repeats, let me know. Question number 1 in our blue round. Who played Jake and Elwood Blues in the original Blues Brothers movie? Who played Jake and Elwood Blues in the original Blues Brothers movie? 1 point for each, of course. Okay, your next question in question number 2. Rowan Atkinson played Inspector Raymond Fowler in which TV series? Rowan Atkinson played Inspector Raymond Fowler in which TV series? Question number 3. Who painted The Blue Boy? Who painted The Blue Boy? Okay, question number 4 now. Question number 4. Which TV artist designed the Blue Peter badge? Which TV artist designed the Blue Peter badge? Okay, your next question in question number 5. Question 5. Who wrote the novel Porterhouse Blue? Who wrote the novel Porterhouse Blue? Question number 6, this is for 3 points. Who had UK chart hits with Blue Monday, Blue Velvet, and Blue brackets Dabba D? Who had UK chart hits with Blue Monday, Blue Velvet, and Blue brackets Dabba D? So 1 point for each there. Question number 7. Which US state is known as the Bluegrass State? Which US state is known as the Bluegrass State? Question number 8 now. Question 8. What sport was played by the St. Louis Blues? What sport was played by the St. Louis Blues? In fact, still is. I had a feeling their franchise may have changed, but no, they are still known as the St. Louis Blues. So what sport is played by the St. Louis Blues? Question number 9 now. Denzel Washington starred in which 2 Blue movies? Denzel Washington starred in which 2 Blue movies? Question number 10. Which three Barclays Premier League sides have the most blue on their home football shirts? Which three Barclays Premier League sides have the most blue on their home football shirts? 1 point for each. Okay, your next question then. Question 11 now. Question 11. What was Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy searching for in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia? What was Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy searching for in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia? Man, that's a deep cut. If you get that question right, I'll be well impressed. Okay, question number 12 now. This one's for 2 points. Question 12. Which two different blue cars have broken the world land speed record? Which two different blue cars have broken the world land speed record? Three more questions to go in this blue round. Question number 13 then. What does the Blue Cross charity support? What does the Blue Cross charity support? Question number 14 now. Question 14. Which celebrity couple named their firstborn daughter Blue Ivy? Which celebrity couple named their firstborn daughter Blue Ivy? You get 1 point for each in the couple. And question number 15, this is for a final 3 points. Jessica Alba, Samuel L. Jackson, and Kate Bosworth starred in which three Blue movies? Jessica Alba, Samuel L. Jackson, and Kate Bosworth starred in which three Blue movies? So that's the end of the round then. Have another look at the Countdown Conundrum if you've not worked that out yet. And as with before, let me know if you need any of those questions repeated. I will gladly do that for you. And then we'll be moving on to play our cryptic music round. See how many we can work out. Doing good for time as expected, so that's alright too. But let me know. Of course, for those who don't know, the link in the description will take you to lots of other places where you can follow me. I've recently posted another TikTok quiz. I've posted another Lima quiz. I shared them in the top fan group the other day. So I might be posting some more soon. But yeah, if you want more quiz content, there's plenty out there in between quiz rounds like this to keep you occupied or to pass the time if you're ever bored. Andy says I don't watch Blue movies myself. Different kind of blue, but yes, very funny. Right, I'm not seeing any requests coming in, so let's blitz through these and see how many points you've got. Question number 1 then. The two actors who played the Blues Brothers in the original movie are Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. Question 2. Rowan Atkinson played Inspector Raymond Fowler on TV in The Thin Blue Line. You can still catch repeats on, is it UK TV or Gold or one of those channels? Yeah, it's still repeated today, or to this day, I should say. Question 3. Who painted The Blue Boy? That was Thomas Gainsborough. Question 4. Which TV artist designed the Blue Peter badge? That was Tony Hart, he who created Morph. Question 5. Who wrote the novel Porterhouse Blue? That was Tom Sharp. Question 6. Who had UK hits with Blue Monday, Blue Velvet and Blue Dabba Dee? It's New Order with Blue Monday, Bobby Vinton with Blue Velvet, and Eiffel 65 with Blue Dabba Dee for 3 points. Question 7. Which US state is the bluegrass state? It is Kentucky. Question 8. What sports are played by the St. Louis Blues? It is ice hockey. Question 9. Denzel Washington starred in which 2 Blue movies? That was Mo Better Blues and Devil in a Blue Dress. Question 10. Which 3 Barclays Premier League sides have the most blue on their home football shirts? It is Chelsea, Manchester City and Everton. And there might be other teams that play in blue, like Brighton, for example, have blue on their kit at home, but theirs is white and blue stripes, so not the same. Question 11, which was the Laurel and Hardy question. They were searching for, what were they searching for in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia? It was the Lonesome Pine. That's a tricky question, that. Question 12, which 2 different blue cars have broken the world land speed record? It was the Bluebird and the Blue Flame. Question 13, what does the Blue Cross charity support? It is sick animals. Question 14, the celebrity couple that named their firstborn daughter Blue Ivy is Beyonce and Jay-Z for 2 points. And question 15, Jessica Alba, Samuel L. Jackson and Kate Bosworth starred in which 3 Blue movies? It is Into the Blue, Deep Blue Sea and Blue Crush. 1 point for each again. Now, the answer for the conundrum this time for round 3 is Forgiving. Forgiving is for another 2 points. So, again, tally up those scores. Let's see how well you did on this round. And let me know in the comments how many points you got. And we'll give you some shout outs before we move on to that final round of the evening, which will be all about these cryptic bands or artists. So, yeah, hopefully you can help me get a whole bunch of these sorted, because I've mentioned it before, I've had this quiz for years. And I keep coming back to it, and I can't think of any more. Can't work them out. I'm sure some of them I'll realise were blindingly obvious, and I'll kick myself for not getting them. But yeah, they're quite tricky, some of these. Tricky round, Donuts say. 16 points, still good though, not bad. Mark says 13 plus 2, rubbish. That's alright. Maddie says not so good this round. 16 plus 2 again. You're all good with that conundrum though, aren't you? Right, who else has got points? Pinky and the Brain have got 10 plus 2. They struggled with this round. Interesting, yeah. And this is the thing with themed rounds, because it could literally be any subject. A bit like those potluck rounds as well, I suppose. You never know which direction the question's going to go in. So, yeah, it makes it a bit trickier. Catherine says, we got 10 points going downhill rapidly. Ju says 8 points for her and Ant, so for half the Britzillians. Well, another 13 plus 2 equals 15. Andy says, a bit blue. No worries. Okay, well, yeah, again, keep your scores coming in if you want to. All the films caught me out, Maddie says. Yes, they're not... The only one I've even seen out of those is Deep Blue Sea, which is a fantastically cheesy shark attack movie. So yeah, if you haven't seen that one, it's got him in it. It's got LL Cool J in it. I think he's the chef of the place where the shark attacks, and yeah, a few others. But it's good fun. It's obviously stupid and silly, but it is fun if you don't mind that kind of film. It's not exactly Jaws, but it is fun. Anyway, that's that. I don't know the other two very well at all. I don't think I've seen them. And neither have I seen the Denzel Washington ones, to be honest. I'm sure they're higher quality films. He normally does do those. Okay, Ant's going. Right, let's move on to the next one then, and we'll see how you do. Okay. Yes, schools are back, June, no problem at all. I get it. Yeah, Abby had her first day at secondary school today. Oh, where's the time gone? Where has it gone? But yeah, she did well. Right, so let me just have a play around here and see. So you've got on screen now, you should be able to see, and I hope you can read it. I've zoomed in enough. You can see the quiz. It is an Excel sheet, and I will be scrolling down through it. And as I type in, 9 points for Millie, well done. That was a good round for us. You did all right there, yeah, it's a tough round as well. As I scroll down, you'll see more gaps. The ones in red are the ones that we've worked out, or I've worked out before, and you've already guessed if you've been attending these regularly. So, but there's a reminder of them on screen. But the first gap is for Lion Talker. So when you have a guess in the comments of what you think that is, I can enter it into that box, and then it will say on the right hand side if it's correct or not. And that's how this works. That's why a load of them already say that. But there are plenty of gaps. So you see, as I scroll down, you can see there'll be lots of different gaps in the reds. Okay. And so immediately, Maddie's jumped in the chat and said, Lion Talker is Leo Sayer. I already hate myself. There's some Leo Sayer songs I really like. I can't believe I didn't guess this. Leo Sayer. Yes, of course it is. Thank you. Well done. 1 point for Maddie. Right, let's move on then. The next gap I've got here. Barbie was even on 100, and you can see a few more now. Stealing the England captain's meat, Hamlet, a female relative, and stunted growth. Help me out, guys. What are these gaps all about? The chat should be on screen. I might have to just do a quick change around here. There we go. All right, I'm going to remove the backdrop and make it easier to see, won't it? There we go. There's your chat. Live editing for you there. So Barbie was even on 100. Stealing the England captain's meat. Hamlet, a female relative. And stunted growth. These are all artists or bands or groups, as a reminder. Cryptic clues for artists, bands or groups. I will scroll down a bit. If it feels like we're all really stuck on these just as much as I was stuck on them, I will scroll down a bit more and you can help me out with some other ones. Shakespeare's sister. Ooh, I wonder. For Hamlet, a female relative. I think you might be onto something there. In fact, let me... Shakespeare's sister? Ooh. Does it not like the apostrophe, I wonder? No. No, it's not accepting that. No. It is not liking that, I'm afraid. It can't be that one. How frustrating. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Is that how they spelt it? Because spelling would matter. Shakespeare's sister. Yeah. They did spell it like that, didn't they? No. They're not liking it. Let's try again. Unless there's some other female relatives with, oh hello, within Hamlet. I mean, if it's literally, rather than Shakespeare, maybe it's literally a character within Hamlet who's a female relative. It might be spelled Shakespeare's. Did I? Shakespeare. Oh, is that different? Oh, okay, different spelling. Okay, let's try that one. It does make sense, doesn't it? Oh, I don't know why it does that. Ah, yes. There we go. It accepted it. Great stuff. Thanks for that, Gabby. In fact, you both did. Did you both then send it? Yeah, you both then sent it the same way. Yeah, that's weird because I copied it off of Google then, and it didn't accept it. So it must be different in there somehow. Okay, all right. Well, that's another one. What else have we got here, gaps wise? Then, so Barbie was even on 100. Stealing the England captain's meat. Stunted growth. I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. Look, we've got 3 more in view now. Excellent weed. Possibly great. And toilet lecture. Oh, Dolly Parton for the Barbie one. Barbie was even on 100. Dolly Parton. Oh, yeah, okay. Dolly and Barbie doll, yeah. Oh, you guys are so good. Of course it is. Excellent work. Arrested Development. Oh, stunted growth. Oh. Yes. Now we're cooking on gas. Right. Stealing the England captain's meat is definitely one we're still missing now. Well done, Andy, I should say. Give you credit where it's due. Well done. Excellent weed, possibly great, and toilet lecture. Let's see if we can get a few more here. And then I can always scroll down a bit more. Because there are, where are we now? Yeah, we're down to like 28. 28 toilet lecture brings us down to. So there is plenty more. Oh, Lou Reed, toilet lecture. Ooh, could it be? Yes. Good work. Yeah, Lou Reed. That's that one done. Good stuff, Mark. Great shout. Supergrass for excellent weed. Of course. This is why it's important to have a team when quizzing. Great stuff. Of course it is. Thank you for that, Andy. Possibly great. Stealing the England captain's meat. So, England captain Robin Beck. Robin Beck, of course. Beckham was England captain, wasn't he, at some point? Yes. Of all the England captains, football, cricket, and even rugby, I was trying to think of, for some reason, I forgot that he was captain for quite a time, wasn't he? Wow. Oh, we're doing awesome here. Great stuff. All right, so possibly great is one we've got missing there. The next one down, young man's area. Several raincoats found in a cemetery, and clergymen in a long dress. Okay, so one of them's just out of view there. Let me just scroll back up. Where does it go? There we go, right. Yeah, possibly great. Boyzone for young man's area. Oh, Boyzone. Yeah. Still only one for possibly great, though. Possibly great. What could it be? And yeah, several raincoats found in a cemetery. And clergyman in a long dress. Another word for a clergyman. Max Bygraves. Max Bygraves. Several raincoats. Max. A Mac. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's a... Man, of course. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? When you say it out loud. Brilliant. I like that. That's very clever. Yeah, in fact, yeah, Gabby, Catherine, Maddie, you all said Max Bygraves there. So well done, Maddie, for getting Boyzone, and then well done to Gabby, Catherine, Tony, and Maddie as well for Max Bygraves. Yes. Mac. Oh, that's so clever. Okay, clergyman in a long dress, soft fabric in the tube, and a virgin Thatcher. There's your next ones. Maxi priest. A maxi. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, alright, let's have a look at this one then. Of course, it is Max Bygraves. Maxi priest. Yes! Excellent work. Well done, Sue and Maddie, for that one. Did we get possibly great? Have I missed one? We haven't got. I don't think we got a guess for that, did we? No, we haven't got possibly great yet. Velvet Underground for soft fabric in the tube. Yes. Okay, Velvet Underground is correct. Great Hairy Creatures is another one. Let's just scroll down. Yeah, so we are still missing possibly great. Keep that one in mind. But well done. Catherine and Tony, Gabby, yeah, sorry, Pinky in the Brain, Mark and Maddie, all getting Velvet Underground there around about the same time. Good work. Great Hairy Creatures and a Virgin Thatcher. Let me scroll back up the list. And possibly great. Great Hairy Creatures. Like monsters of some description. Great hairy furry animals. Super furry animals. That's got to be it. Surely. I think I've got one myself there. Furry animals. Oh, come on. Yes! Get in. Quizmaster's got a point now. I told you this would be a collaborative effort. Still need possibly great though. The monkeys. Oh, I think you might maybe a bit behind if you meant that one. Great Hairy Creatures would work for the monkeys, but I think it's the three words. Great Hairy Creatures, super furry animals. Yeah, that's why that's worked out. But yeah, good guess I suppose with the monkeys. Virgin Thatcher. They might be giants for possibly great. Ah, there's a good one. Okay, Gabby, let's go back up and check that one. Possibly great. They might be giants. Wow, good shout. Okay. Excellent stuff. Okay, next ones then we'll do a couple more. We'll go till 10 past, so we've got 1 more minute, give or take. So, Virgin Thatcher. And the next one down is, well, we've got Refinement Association and Upset Over Phobias. Let's try and get those 3, and then we'll call it a day, so we can finish a bit early, like I said, and also save some for the next time. Because we'll do this again next week. So, Virgin Thatcher, Refinement Association. Association's got to be company, maybe? Something company? Like bad company, but not because it's refinement. That's not quite the same thing. Tears for Fears. Oh, yes. Well done. Excellent work, Maddie. Tears for Fears. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Right. Last 2 then. Refinement Association and a Virgin Thatcher. A Virgin Thatcher. Thatcher. Somebody who... That's for roofs, isn't it? Like cottages, isn't it? Mary Margaret, a singer for Virgin Thatcher. Virgin Mary, Margaret Thatcher. Ooh. Mary Margaret. Margaret, did I spell that right? I mean, it's not. It might be Mary something else though. Virgin Mary makes sense. That's definitely the kind of thing this quiz would do. What other Thatchers could there be? What other Marys could there be? Virgin Thatchers. I think we're on the right lines here. Feels like we're on the right lines, but yeah, I'm not sure. And Refinement Association. You just made up the name and hope for the best. I'm sure you did, but sometimes these things work. Sometimes these things just work. It could be that obscure. I think as long as they've had some kind of chart success, then they could be in this list. Yeah, I'm sure you're onto something with Mary. We might have to stop there. Refinement Association. I feel like we should know this one. Refinement Association. I'm going to try Bad Company. Oh, no, I can't. No, Bad Company's already there. Okay, how are we doing for time? All right, that's 12 past. Okay, I think I'm going to call it there. But have a think about those and come back next time and let me know what you think they could be, because we'll carry on and I'll do some others again, because honestly I could keep scrolling down. We could be here all evening. Oh, Culture Club, a New Order. Hold on, we've had a couple of guesses come in. Culture Club, Refinement Association, New Order. New Order. Oh, let's try Culture Club first. It's not been said yet. Oh, it is Culture Club. It is. Look at that. Just as the final whistle blows. I like it. Madonna. Madonna? Madonna for Virgin Thatcher? No, not Madonna. New Order, I'm guessing, was a guess for Refinement Association, because it's not there. But I'm glad we got that one at least. Yeah, Virgin Thatcher, have a think about that one. I suppose we'd like a Virgin being a big song for Madonna. It might be. It could have been, I suppose. But obviously it's not just Madonna there. All right. Let's call it a day there then, I think. I'd love to keep talking about these all night long, to be honest. But I am melting and I do need a drink. And I did say we'd finish a little bit early. Thank you all for your help on that one, though. As I said, we will do that again next week. We'll carry on through the list. I think we might be able to get another 2 quizzes out of the rest of the list, maybe 3, depending if we get stuck on some. So we'll probably do a similar thing next week. Well, we will do basically exactly the same thing next week. Maybe the kids will be back. Depends on a number of things. As you see scrolling across the top of the screen there, though, we have got 20% off everything in my merch store on the 23rd to the 28th of September. Before that, though, you can get free standard delivery in the week before, or a week or 2 before. So I'll remind you all again next week if you want to get any merch. There's all sorts of things there. It's not just clothes. There's lots of different things you can get. So, yes. Gabby said Iron Maiden. Virgin Thatcher. Oh, I'll quickly just have a look. Is it? I think that's already in this list, though. Oh my days, it is Iron Maiden. It is. It's just come up correct. Amazing. Yeah, great work. All right, I'm happy now. We've finished. We've drawn a line under it, and we can start with the next ones next week. You're a star. Thank you for that. Yes, Catherine says, great quiz again. Thanks, everyone. Love from Catherine and Tony. Thank you so much, Millie says. Brilliant quiz as always. Sue and the Donuts, great quiz. You're welcome, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And Andy as well. Great fun. Thank you, everyone, for the company. Yeah, it's been a pleasure as always, and I will, I guess, see you all same time next time for more of the same fun. Cheers. Good night.